Hello and welcome to this special piece of content I've made just for you. If you're thinking about joining the Academy or even if you're in the Academy, I've got 6 questions that I want to go through that anybody that's not just the Academy, but business in general. And these 6 questions are really, really important to ask yourself whether you're thinking about doing something, whether it be the Academy or whatever it is, a business venture, let's just say, or you're already in a business venture like the Academy, and you use these 6 questions to sort of really check in with yourself every now and then, as often as possible, really, especially if you feel like things aren't going well. These questions are always going to ground you back in the truth because they are grounded in truth, these questions. And, spoiler alert, the answer to them all should be yes. But if the answer to them is no, then we need to fix those things if we can. And then we're going to talk about should I leave the Academy or should I stop doing this business venture? Because I say the Academy, business venture, whatever it might be, it doesn't really matter. Business is business at the end of the day. We start things, we stop things, and for lots of different reasons. So this is about checking in with yourself and understanding these 6 questions, because you've got to stay grounded in the truth. You've got to remain, in a position where you are following the North Star. Yeah, and the North Star's got to come from within you. So these 6 questions, I want you to listen to them, slow down, sort of check in with yourself, write them down, and come back to them and go through them very, very slowly because they're so important. You can't skip past these. Now, question 1. So, do you know where you're trying to get to in life and business? So, do you know the reason? Basically, what I'm asking you there is why you're doing what you're doing and where you're trying to get to. So, as an example, my wife would not go back to work once our first child was born. It was a non-negotiable. She wouldn't leave the child. I had to make something work. So, I immediately knew where I needed to get to in life to basically bring in 2 salaries, have a really or moderately successful business or venture of some description so I could provide for this new family and in the absence of a partner that works and brings in an income. So I knew straight away where I needed to get in life. Then it was like, right, now where do we need to get in business? Because let's face it, unless we're a highly paid individual within a business, the general rule is that you probably need to have your own business to live the life that you really, 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 really want. Now, is everybody willing to put in the work to get there? Well, that's a separate issue. But this question here is: do you know where you are trying to get to in life and in business? Do you know what that looks like? If you don't know what that looks like, then we have a problem straight away, don't we? Because absolute clarity there is needed, and for some people, they haven't got it. They don't know where they're trying to get to in life because they're being wishy-washy. They're sort of, maybe the person at home doesn't push you. Maybe they're as negative themselves, or whatever the issue might be. There, the influence might not be positive. Let's face it, it isn't always. So that's question 1. Do you know where you want to get to in life and business? Because the business should serve the life. Yeah. We do the business stuff, not because we love it, and I get we enjoy it, but, it's to serve the life. Then the life meanings really do need to come first. Why are you doing what you're doing? So that's question 1. Do you know where you're trying to get to in life and business? Question 2 is, do you know what's missing? So if you were where you wanted to be already, there wouldn't be anything missing. There really wouldn't be anything missing. So, and even for myself now, when I look at my life and my business, there's still levels I want to get to in terms of achieving things in business and, for the business and the people in the academy and all the rest of it. And in life, there's things that I still want to do before I die, as we all have those things. So do I know what's missing for me to go from where I am to there? Now, we all should know that because, for instance, if you are starting off with a business and you go, right, well, my family needs this, so I've got to provide that. A business can provide that if I do this, this, and this. What are the things that are missing? So I need to bring in customers. What does my website look like? It's 2025. We need to have a good website. My website's a bit shit, or this, that, the other. And I know there's lots of tools out there that can build websites very quickly, but that doesn't replace expertise around what industry specifics are needed in regards to a customer journey. So you need to be careful here that you don't fall into the traps of technology too much, because everything that's missing can't be answered by quick wins with technology all the time. Yeah, a lot of it comes from learning things. So we need to know what is missing. Yeah. So do you know where you want to be in life, in business, and do you know what's missing? And again, the academy was built to give you generally what is missing. A decent sales process, a website, the visibility in the local area, all the rest of it. But again, what's missing in your life? Are you living the life that you want? Are you living in the house that you want? Are you living in the area that you want? Are your kids going to the school that you'd really send them to if you could really, really pick? Are you doing the holidays that you really, really, really want to do? Are you compromising anywhere on these things? Do you get what I'm saying? Because if you are, then you need to look at yourself and go, well, I'm supposed to be looking at a business venture here. Why would I compromise on these things if I don't need to? Because the good thing about being a business owner, or potentially aspiring to be a business owner, is that you actually get to pick what your life looks like. No one's dictating that to you when you have your own business. So if your life has ended up in this situation and you've got your own business, then you've got yourself there. You can't be self-employed and have a business and then it's somebody else's fault that things haven't worked out the way that you want that you wanted them to. But question one grounds you in that. Do you even know what that looks like? Where are you trying to get to in 5 years' time, 10 years' time? What is it you're actually trying to do in life and business? Have you got absolute clarity around those things? And I don't mean a wishy-washy, oh yeah, I'd like to earn more money and, maybe an extra holiday a year and, just wishy-washy shite like that. What we want is proper life planning stuff. In 5 to 10 years, I'd like to live in that house or one of those houses on one of those streets or in that area. I'd like to drive that type of car. I'd like to go on these types of holidays. I'd like to be able to eat out and buy these things for my kids and experience these things in life. That is what clarity looks like in terms of knowing where you're trying to get in life and business. That what I've just said there even still was a little bit wishy-washy. It still wasn't as detailed as I'd like it to be. But it's a hell of a lot better than just saying, oh, I'd like to just earn a bit more money doing this. And yeah, it's not really setting the world on fire, that, in terms of clarity. And money and business like clarity. We like to aim at things. Money is attracted to people that take action on proper plans. And you need to be one of those people. And again, question two, do you know what's missing? So if I don't have these things right now, how am I going to get them? What do we need? I need business knowledge. I need a good website. You always need a good CRM. Websites and CRMs are like the foundation of business. They're not fancy toys. Every business needs them. And it makes me laugh sometimes when people go, oh, I don't know if I need that. Do you mean you don't know if you need it? Do you know what I mean? What you don't know is business here, mate. Listen up. You need it. Trust me. No business on earth these day and age can survive without those things, unless you just want to work for wages and struggle. But we're not here to earn wages and struggle. We're here to build a business, or at least try to. So, knowing what you want out of life and knowing what's missing. That's question 1 and 2. Question 3 then is, do you understand what the KBB Academy is? Like I've just said, it's not about the website and CRM, shiny toys. It's about having real tools and support from people that have been there and done it. Do you really understand that? And if you're going to go into any business and you're going to have some sort of a mentorship or program to follow, do you understand what that is offering and how that thing can give you what's missing to then get you where you really want to be in life and business? Do you see how these things are connected? So you know where you want to be in life and business, you understand what's missing, and you understand what the KBB Academy is. It's not tools. Sorry, it's not toys, it's tools and support. You've got to get your head into this. Big time. It's not a chest pumping social club. It's a business opportunity and a way to get you to close that gap on what's needed. Question 2. So question 3 is, do you understand what the KBB Academy is? In its rawest form, it is not just a website and CRM. It is not just one of these things. It is a web of tools and support that are all there for you to learn. And then when you get your head into them, right, well, this is how I'm supposed to run my business. Question 4 then is, can you distinguish value from cost? So let me explain something. So let's say, for instance, somebody says to you, right, I'm going to charge you £500 a month, and for that £500 a month, I'm going to give you a van, I'm going to give you all your tools, I'm going to teach you how to do everything, and then at the end of the month, you'll be able to invoice £10,000 because of the tools that I have leased to you for £500. So the clever or even normal, able to think person who understands value would be able to say, yeah, do you know what? If I can get at the 10 grand, the 500 quid doesn't matter, does it? No, because I understand the value in terms of what the £500 is doing for me. But then you get the people who look at the 500 quid and can't see past it. They just cannot see past that 500 quid. They can't fathom, well, I'm just paying 500 quid. I could spend that on other things. I could do that. But the value that the £500 brings is £10,000. But if I'm not willing to spend the £500, and it's not just spending the £500, it's making use of the tools. It's doing the work with those tools to get to the 10 grand. Does that make sense? And this is where people who can't be asked start using the cost as an excuse. They may or may not see the value, but they definitely can't tell the difference between the two. They'll talk about the cost of whatever the thing is. It's like buying a car for 10 grand and saying, right, I'm going to buy a car so I can drive to a better place. Right, okay, cool. So I bought the car, put the car on the drive. Right, when are we driving to the better place? Oh, no, I'm not. Fuck that. I'm just going to stay here. I'm going to stay where I am. But I've spent the money on it. I can look at it. It's there, but I think I'll leave it. I'm not going to bother driving it. I'm just gonna put it on the drive and stare at it because that's what I do. And it's like, well, what's the point then? Because you're looking at the car going, well, you've just costed yourself 10 grand to put a car on the drive, and the purpose of doing that was to drive somewhere better. But now we're not driving somewhere better. So I give you 2 analogies there, where there's a cost associated with getting access or having the thing, but then it's using the thing to extract the value that you're really after. And the value that you're really after, if you understand what the academy is, for instance, is using the tools to extract the value to then give you what you know is missing because you understand what the academy is, which then helps you get where you want to be in life and business. Now, if you can't see past, the cost of something, and you go, well, I'm not getting the value. Well, you're not going to get the value out of that car if you don't drive it. So you're right. Why have it? Do you know what I mean? Why continue to pay for the car if you're not going to extract the value and drive it? You're right. You might as well just say, oh, sod it, But if I got in the car and drove it, would I keep it? Would I keep the tools if I was actually getting to the 10 grand? Well, yeah, of course I would. And now I'm talking myself out of something because I'm not using it. I'm not doing the thing that needs to be done to get there. So, excuse me. So that was question 4. So question 1 is, do you know where you're trying to get in life and business? Yes or no? It should be a yes. Do you know what's missing to go, right, well, this is where I am. That's where I want to be. Excuse me. So what is that gap? What are the things that are missing for me to get there? Early on in business, it's very obvious what those things are. Number 3, do you understand what the KB Academy is? If that's the vehicle you're trying to use to get there, because if you understand what it is, I know that it's going to give me what's missing, and it can help me what I want to achieve in life and business. Then great. Now, can I distinguish the difference between value and cost? Because I'm going to have to invest in some things to get to the value. I'm going to have to put some money in to get to the value because things cost money. So if I can only see the cost of the thing and I can't get tuned into the value because I'm not using the thing, then I'm stuffed from day one, because mathematically it will never work. And mentally, I am never going to become a business owner because I'm not even thinking like a business owner. So if you don't think like a business owner, you ain't going to just become one. You ain't going to become successful if you don't start thinking like a successful person. It just does not happen on its own. And you've got to really think about these things ahead of time. So question 5 is, do you have a growth mindset? And this is really important, because if you have a growth mindset, so a growth mindset is someone who's always really looking to improve things and do things better next time. And, how I did it last week, I'm going to look at it differently, because I speak to people all the time and I see the check-ins come in and I'm like, I've been doing it like this, but I'm trying to find, I'm trying to get better at this and better at numbers and better at my scorecard. I can see the growth is there. They're trying to do better than last time. And that is all that a growth mindset is. And can you see how the KBB Academy will help you achieve this? So if you've got a growth mindset and you look at the Academy and go, oh, there's quite a bit of stuff in there. But if I start learning it and I start getting better and better and better at it, then I can see how it's going to help me achieve it. So if you have a growth mindset and you can see how things are going, how the KB Academy is going to help you then achieve the things that we mentioned before, i.e. close that gap, extract the value, make sure that you're then ticking the boxes on what's missing and get you where you want to be in life and business, that growth mindset is going to carry you forward in terms of always improving what it is that you're doing. Because you've got to work off first principles here. And you've got to be willing to learn, unlearn, and get your ego under control. Because if you won't listen to people and you know best, when clearly you don't know best, and if you can't admit that you don't know best, then there's a humility problem here where it's like, I'm not sure, I don't want to listen to this or listen to that or unlearn. Learning's important, but unlearning is more important. Because what people do is they know what they knew before, and then they learn the new thing on top and think that they can hold the two truths at the same time. Well, one of them isn't true for the first thing. The old one always has to go, because it is not the way forward. Because we listen to people that have done things ahead of us, things, people that we should trust and respect. And then we should be able to emulate and copy what they do and keep it simple. But that requires having your ego under control and not thinking that you know best all the time. So if you haven't got the growth mindset, you can't work off first principles. And first principles are very simple. They're just things that are grounded in truth that can't be broken down any further. And I say this to people quite a lot, is that the first principles that we have in the Academy are step 1, 2, and 3 in the 12 steps to freedom. The flagship coaching products that we have, once your website is live and you get access to that, there's some people don't even log into it sometimes and then have these conversations with us. Well, I'm not getting the value from it. Well, you're not even willing to learn or unlearn what you knew before. And you're telling us that, I don't know what's going on there. But the first principles in the Academy is step 1, 2, and 3. So step 1 is controlling your mindset and getting control of your time. Yeah. Step 2 is understanding your numbers, and step 3 is quoting and cash flow. Now, if you get them 3 things right and you do all the stuff that's in step 1, like doing your 90 minutes, creating a workspace, getting your noise cancelling headphones, all the things that I put in there that set you up for success, everybody that's done that, because let's face it, if you had done that already, or you're willing to do it, your business will be a success, because nobody has ever turned around to me and said, Aaron, I've done the 12 steps and it hasn't worked for me. The only people that say it's not working for them are the people that haven't even bothered with the 12 steps, or they've had a look at it and then they've not done it. They've not implemented anything. They've not started it, so therefore they're not working off first principles, i.e. the foundational truths that cannot be changed, i.e. let me recap. If you get control of your mindset and your time, you know your numbers and your quoting and your cash flow is being done properly, i.e. you're making profit, and you're becoming these three things in the step 1, 2, and 3, everything else will take care of itself in the academy for you. Because once you get control of them, you'll get control of everything else. But what people do is they ignore these. They then say, "Oh, it's not working for me. Oh, I can't. I'm not doing all this stuff." And when you look at the back end of the academy and see when they logged in and when they've done some of these things, they haven't bothered. So the willingness to learn isn't there. They won't unlearn. They know best. Ego control. And again, if this is all down to not having a growth mindset, because somebody with a growth mindset, question 5, somebody with a growth mindset would jump in that academy and go, right, this is like a sweet shop. Because think about what I've just said up to this point, right? And if I'm losing you a bit here, then you definitely need to go back and revisit these questions. Because anybody that's nodding at this is going, yeah, I get this. Because when you want to genuinely grow a business and improve yourself, and I see this in academy members, by the way, this isn't my opinion. I've seen this time and time again. Some people get access to that academy and go, oh my God, this is amazing. And they just build the life that they want instantly within months because they know where they want to be in life and business. They know what's missing. They understand what the academy is. They can distinguish between value and cost, and they usually join KBB Academy Plus very quickly. And they do have a growth mindset. So when they get in that academy, they can't believe their eyes. They're going, oh my God, everything I need is here. Thank you very much, Aaron, Lee, and team. This is amazing. This is exactly what I've been looking for. And then people just go like that. That's it. And the people that, let's recap, don't know where they want to be in life. They have no clarity. They don't know what's missing because they don't know what they're looking at. They don't really understand what the academy is. They think it's just a CRM and a website, and that's it. There's nothing else to it, or I don't know what they think it is, but they definitely don't understand it. They can't distinguish the difference between value and cost, because if you think that £225 a month for the silver package or even £65 a month for the beginner package is too much, you haven't got an absolute Scooby-Doo about value in business, because that is a ridiculously low number to pay for what is on offer. But it's back to that £500 analogy for the tools. Yeah, why would you pay it when you're not bothering to use the tools? Do you get what I mean? Why would you? You're not even trying to get to that 10 grand because you're not even picking up the tools that you're leasing. You know what I said in that thing earlier. So yeah, I get it. To a degree. Well, I don't get it. I understand it. I understand that you don't see the value. Well, I don't, but you get what I mean. If you're not using it, then I can't disagree, because you go, well, you're not fucking using it. So yeah, you're not getting the value. But if you used it, you would get the value. And if you did use it, you did build the business, you were making the profit, you were providing that life for your family, the one I, said earlier, the holidays you want, the house you want, everything you want. If you were there doing that right now, you wouldn't even be dreaming of it. You wouldn't even be dreaming of moving away from something that provides that for you, would you? You just would not. So again, first principles, really important. The things that the universal truths that will never change. Being willing to listen, learn, unlearn, and get your ego under control. It is a business opportunity, this. It's not a chest pumping social club. But you've got to have a growth mindset. So just to recap on the first 5 questions before I finish it off on question 6, where I'm going to wrap it all up into one big question to really reflect on. So question 1, let's just recap. Do you know where you want to be in life and business? Do you know what's missing to get there? And we've all got things that are missing. Do you understand what the KBB Academy is, or the thing that you're going to sign up to or get involved in? Do you understand it? Can you distinguish the difference between value and cost? Is it good value, bad value? It clearly is good value for what you're getting here. And a lot of other things are good value if you use them properly. Number 5, do you have a growth mindset? Because if you go yes, 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 and then you go, yes, I've got a growth mindset. Yes, I'm always looking to improve things. And yes, I want to get better at things all the time. That is a growth mindset. You will be flying. Now, question 6 is where it could all come crashing down and it might just unravel on you. So just be careful here before you get too excited. If you've already said no to some of these things early on, maybe you need to book a call. Maybe you need to ask us a question. You definitely need to do something, because the answer to all those first 5 should be yes. They are not up for negotiation. There is no negotiating on those points. Absolutely zero negotiation is ever going to happen with me on those points. You must have a yes through all of those things. And if there's a no in there, the problem is you. The problem is you. The problem is not out there, it's in here. Yeah? It is in here. Those things will never become a no. They'll never become a no unless people are just not, just, I don't know, without being offensive, what to say about those people. Because I just think if you can't get a yes on all those things, and if there is no's, there will be no's for all of us at certain times when we feel like things aren't working. But the purpose of these questions is to bring you back to earth and go, right, am I seeing the value? Sometimes you might go, no, I'm not. Well, why am I not seeing the value? Well, I'm not fucking using it. Right, okay, so who is that on? Is it that the academy is not valuable? Or is it the fact that I'm not using that value? Because the two truths can't exist at the same time. And the academy is value. Do you get what I mean? It 100% is value. So if you're not getting it, again, that's where you've got to get the mirror and go, do you get what I mean? It's where you've got to hold steady on your own, you know, your own commitment to yourself. Let's just say, where you're honest with yourself. You've got to be honest with yourself, because if you look at any of these questions, do you know where you want to be in business and life? Do you know what's missing? Do you understand what the academy is? Can you distinguish value and cost? Do you have a growth mindset? There might be a couple in there that you're like, oh, I'm not sure I do. But do the work to fucking get to the yes. Don't fucking be lazy and go, oh no, it's not for you. I'm just like, no, because it's all the yeses are there. The only one that's really going to fuck you up is the growth mindset one. I do believe that is the one that some people are going to fall down on and go. You can develop a growth mindset, but you've got to have a lot of humility. You've got to be able to sit there and go, I need to do better. I need to do better. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're not growing and you know you're being negative and you know you're stepping back and you know you're shying away from things because you're not growing, then that's not something that only you can fix that, if you can. So the final question 6, right? Listen to this one carefully and we will break it down. I'll read it all in one go and then we'll come back to it and break it down. So, do you take 100% responsibility for aligning your goals with the opportunity that's on offer, be it with the KBB Academy or whatever it is you're thinking of doing, and extracting the value through your commitment to becoming successful and the reason you are trying to do it? So let's just go over that one and break it down bit by bit. So I'll read it again quickly. Do you take 100% responsibility for aligning your goals with the opportunity on offer with KBB Academy and extracting the value through your own commitment to being successful and the reasons that you are trying to do that? So, do you take 100% responsibility is the first bit. It's a number of questions. It's like a statement, this. And it's a bit of a head fuck because it's like, this is wrapping everything into one now, where you're going, right, okay, there's no way out of this now, because let's break it down. Do you take 100% responsibility? Well, it certainly isn't my responsibility to provide for your family, right? That's your responsibility. There is an opportunity that has been manufactured, if you like, through my experience and pain, which I have put out there for the world. Hopefully, lots of other families, and they are doing. will benefit from my pain. So it wasn't for fuck all. Although my family have benefited from it massively, I want others to as well. Do you get what I mean? So do you take 100% responsibility for aligning your goals? Remember, question 1. Do you know where you want to be in life and business? Your goals. So do you take 100% responsibility for aligning your goals with the opportunity on offer, which is question 3. Do you understand what the KBB Academy is? And extracting the value, question 4, distinguishing the difference between value and cost, through the value on offer and extracting the value through your commitment to becoming successful, which was number 5, which was the growth mindset. So your commitment to being successful must come from that growth mindset and the reasons that you're trying to do it. Question 1. So all those questions are amalgamated into a statement that is question 6. And I think the only thing that we're adding in at question 6 is the first line. Do you take 100% responsibility? Because some people don't. Let's just face it. Some people don't take responsibility. They think it's someone else's job to pull their success out of their ass. And it isn't. You know, no one is coming to rescue me if I decide to start being lazy tomorrow. Nobody. And no one's coming to rescue you either. People will try and help you. And believe me, we do try to help people. But at the end of the day, if they don't know where they want to be, they don't know what's missing, they don't understand the academy, they can't distinguish the difference between value and cost, and they haven't got a growth mindset, then we can't help them. And this is going to become the framework for us to make decisions on who the academy is for and who it isn't. And this is going to fall on to current members as well. This isn't going to be just new members. There's going to be awkward conversations around this. Because, let's just face it, you know, we cannot put the time and energy into people when they don't want to put it into themselves. When they come on a call with you and go, yeah, well, I've heard all that, and I know you've said that for years, and then I log into the back end of the academy and go, why haven't you fucking done it then? It's all right saying you know it, but knowledge is fuck all without implementation. And then repeating, that's why I repeat things, because it's not just a case of doing it once. Success is very basic things done on repeat. So I'm sorry that it's boring being successful, but the people that are successful in the academy never turn around and say it's boring. They come to all the events, they come on all the lives, they always message, you know, before and after Facebook lives and things like that. You know, there's that engagement. And yeah, it is the same shit that we've said 1,000 times sometimes, but they're hearing it and then doing it because they are ignoring the fact that it's monotonous, and it can be, because in the real world, away from the academy, they're going home to the house they want, doing the holidays they want, having the life they want, because they're doing all the other stuff. So it doesn't feel like a drag. And the people that complain about it are the people that aren't doing it. And that's as simple as it is. Because no one in the academy that makes good sales really does whinge or say any of these things. And again, listen, I ain't trying to please everyone. I am not on a crusade to change people's minds about anything. I couldn't give a shit. I've got my business. Other people have got their businesses. There's plenty out there for everyone. We don't all need to be together if it's not meant to be. Yeah, I am not in the game of trying to change people's minds. But I want you to use these questions, and I will send them out to academy members and put them underneath this video, so we can keep coming back to it. But you know, this is your responsibility. This is your business. This is your family, not mine. I want to help you. We want to help you. Lee wants to help you. Yes, it breaks our heart when people leave, because we want your family to have the life that we have, and we want everyone. And it is possible, you know. But if you know, but we also need to accept that, you know, some people can't get out their own way. They're in their own way, and we can't stop that. As much as we'd like to. I'd like to click my fingers and make people's brains work differently, but unfortunately I've tried and it doesn't work. And that's why we need to have this framework and checklist moving forward, and on entry and sometimes exit to the academy, that we check in on these things. And I think you need to use this framework yourselves on a monthly and weekly basis as often as you can, and spot yourself when you're coming off track and you feel like your mindset's shifting a bit in the wrong direction. Because it will happen. We all get negative at times. We do all get negative at times. But if you did answer yes to all those 6 questions, then absolutely congratulations. You've just found your North Star, so just follow it. There it is. That academy is your North Star. If you said, yes, I know where I want to be. Yes, I know what's missing and I'm working at it. Yes, I understand what the academy is properly and the value. I can distinguish the difference between the value the academy gives and the cost. I do have a growth mindset. I'm always looking to improve, and I will listen to people that know better than me, and be willing to not let my ego stop me from listening. And yes, I will take responsibility for aligning my goals with this opportunity and extracting the value through my own commitment to being successful and for the reasons that I'm trying to do it, which is providing for my family. Boom, that's it. If you can say those things, you're in exactly the right place. If you can't, the door and the conversation is always open to try and have a conversation, because there are a few points in there that can be coached. Don't get me wrong. It's not like a game set. No, like you shouldn't do it then. But there does need to be conversations if we're not clear on these things. Definitely. And before I finish on this first part is, this is not up for negotiation. These things have to be yeses if you want to be successful. They can't be wishy-washy. They've got to be absolutely nailed on. And, you have to take responsibility for it. There's no one else doing that for you. People will want to help you. They'll try and help you. Ultimately, it's down to you. But again, if you've got any concerns about these things, just book a call in. Drop it in your WhatsApp group, send us a message, whatever it might be. And let's see if we can iron out any of these creases. Because, understanding value and cost and all these things, and, knowing where you want to be and all the rest of it, they are all coachable. The one that is a struggle, and I find this a lot with people, is if they just haven't got the mindset to grow and they just want to stay still. But they want it, but they're not willing to do what's really required. And therefore, who can help those people? Nobody. Right, so we're going to move on to the next part of this, and this should be a bit quicker now. So they are the sort of checking in with yourself questions, and if you're thinking of joining or starting any business venture, I know obviously we're talking about the academy, but business is business, and this will apply to every business venture and most things that you do in life, to be honest. But then maybe if you're in the academy now and you're going, even in them first few questions, you might go, there's a few things I want to talk to you about there. Well, let's have the conversation, right? Well, let's just say you're in the academy already. You still should check in with those first 6 questions, and there still might be things to iron out. Well, then the next half of this is, should I leave the academy? So there is a dead simple yes, you should leave the academy if one of these 3 conditions is correct. So exiting the industry, if you're just exiting the industry, then yeah, definitely, there's no point. If you can't continue for health reasons, yes, obviously, and you have a more lucrative opportunity. So if the academy is an opportunity cost for you, i.e. you've got something bigger and better to do that will make you more money, and you're thinking, well, that'd be better for me, then yeah, you should. I mean, I would never say to you, stick with this, because I'm a business person at the end of the day, and I wouldn't give you shit advice, even if it was, even if we lost a member, because I don't believe that you don't become successful by being a snake. The truth is the truth at the end of the day, and if someone said to me, I can make this amount, I'm in the academy, but I could make this there, and it's nailed on, this isn't bullshit. And they can prove it, and they say, but I can't do both, what would you do? Well, obviously there'd always be a risk assessment of it, but if it was mathematical and it worked out that actually this other opportunity was better, then yeah, you should go and do it. But if it's going to be less money, or and I know that immediately it might be more money, so you've got to be careful here. Remember what he said about knowing where you want to be. if this new opportunity, so for instance, what we don't want to get mixed up with here is I'm earning fuck all now. That'll earn me a little bit more than fuck all. That you need to stick at this and make this work. Because knowing where you want to be long term, so this short term, more lucrative offer might not last for long. Do you get what I mean? So you've got to be careful here. But again, the long term goals are always the priority over short term wins, as difficult, and your brain tells you to do the opposite because it wants quick fixes. But quick fixes don't amount to successful businesses. Successful businesses are built through difficulty. So again, it's a straight yes, you should go. If you're exiting, it's health, or you've got a more lucrative opportunity. So the other thing is, and I've sort of touched on this already, is did you answer no to any of the previous 6 questions? If no, then you need to stay where you are. So sorry, you know what I mean. So did you answer no to any of the questions? So if you have got any issues there, then you need to fix them. If you said yes to them all, then obviously you stay where you are unless you got something more lucrative. Now, if you said no to something and you were like, I'm not sure, like I've said, if it's fixable, then fix it. But this is where you've got to distinguish again the difference between fixable in here, not out there, because you can't look at things and go, no, I'm not gonna fix it in my head. I'm gonna fix it out there. All those 6 questions I asked you, they're all about you. They're not to be fixed out there. They're to be fixed in here. Yeah. So if you're willing to commit the time to more self-development to let those truths sink in, because those 6 things are based around truths. They're not theories, they're truths. Where you want to be, very personal to you. Do you know what's missing? Very personal to you. Do you understand what the academy is? It's a truth. That is what the academy is. You need to understand it. Can you distinguish the difference between value and cost? That's a truth. It's not an opinion, that's a truth. Do you have the growth mindset? Again, you could be bordering on opinion a slight bit, but from my experience, it's a truth because the growth mindset is what you need. So you've got to look at these things and go, if I can fix them with more self-development and I'm willing to do that work, then yeah, you stay where you are. If you can't fix it and you go, look, I can't get my ego under control, not that you'd ever openly admit that, or most people wouldn't, or some people do actually. I have actually had really candid conversations with people where they've said, yeah, my ego was out of control. I was wrong. I had a few days to think about it because I've called them out and said, listen, get your shit together here, for fuck's sake. Listen to yourself. Do you know what I mean? Never mind telling me the bullshit. Go and fucking stand in the mirror and tell the mirror what you just told me and you'll hear it for yourself. I mean, who are you trying to fucking kid, mate? Me or you? You know, trying to come onto a call and tell me, oh, I don't think I need that 12 steps anymore because I've done it all. And I look in and you've not logged in for fucking 3 months. And I look at your stuff and you're all over the place. You're not making money. You've got no profit. You're still on your ass. Like, come on. You're not kidding me. You know, you might try and do it to yourself, but it ain't washing. So again, you know, I know it's harsh. I know that sounds really harsh, but it is true. And we've got to cut through the fucking shit here big time. We really have. So if you can let those truths sink in over time, you might look at some of these and go, oh God, you know, deep down I know I'm miles off some of these things. You might need 6 months sabbatical to sort your head out, to get yourself into a position mentally where you're ready to go again. That can happen. Sometimes it can work really well. It doesn't always. Some people get lazy. Some people get used to doing fuck all and taking it easy and never go back. So I always say, stay in the grind if you can. Don't pull yourself out of it, even though it's difficult, because you will do the best learning in the hardest times. You don't do the best learning in the easy times. So if you make it easy for yourself, you're not going to then voluntarily go back into hardship. You know, so if you're in it and it's a struggle and you're fuming about it and you feel like it's not working, then that's the sign that you need to carry on. That's not the sign to fucking slow down or stop. That's the sign to go, I need to double down here because, you know, things aren't where I want them to be. So what do you do? If you're walking through the valley of death and it was fucking baking and you thought, if I keep walking, I might get to somewhere with water. If I lie on the floor here, I am definitely going to die. And that's the way you got to think about things sometimes, is go, walking feels harder, and or a car might come and pick me up, but realistically, if I lie on the floor, a car could drive past and not see me. I'm probably going to die if I stop. And that's the same for your business goals and your future aspirations. They die. You don't double down on things when things are going wrong. Unfortunately, that's usually where it stops. I've seen it before. And again, something to bring up on that point is, if you're wondering what happens to people post academy, ring some of them up and ask them, because and I do not wish bad things on people or ill fortune, but some of the people we've had in and then left, I'm yet to see someone that's surprised me, let's put it that way, where they've done better than I thought they would have done in the academy. They've normally ended up somewhere. When I look at people's declarations when they first join the academy, and they say what their ambitions are and what they want to do and all the rest of it, put it this way, they don't leave the academy and then achieve those things. So, and if you want any proof, you don't need to come to me. There's plenty of people that I'm sure you're all aware of that have been in the academy and left. Just ask them what they're up to. You'll soon get a picture. And then go and speak to some of the people in the academy that do well and ask them what they're up to. It's fucking chalk and cheese. So again, if you're in it and you're wobbling, it might be around some of the 6 things. Check in with yourself with those 6 questions. I'll send them over to you. It is a yes, leave. If it's exiting the industry, can't continue for health reasons, or you have a more lucrative opportunity, and that has to be proven by maths, not bullshit. Oh, my mates asked me to get involved in this. Well, I've heard that so many times. It's fucking bullshit. It never works out. So you need to ask yourself before you do step out of the door, if that's what you decide to do, have I implemented what I was told? Have I done step 1, 2, and 3? Have I implemented those things? Step 1, get control of your time and your mindset. Step 2, know your numbers. And step 3, your quoting and cash flow, get all that up to speed. The people that do that fly. And the thing is, I know the answer to these things already, because no one's done that. Started the business moving and then decided to go because the business just don't. Do you know what I mean? So ultimately, we don't want to let you down. We, like I've just mentioned, the declarations, we don't want to see people give up on that dream. We want to facilitate those dreams. But again, if people are in their own way and they're just honest, maybe you're just honest with yourself and go, I'm just not going to do it, and that's just being honest. Sometimes you just realize it's not for me. I'm not cut out for it. I still don't believe that, by the way, even if you're thinking that, because I've talked myself out of it so many times. And then talk myself back into it the day after, because we do lose belief in ourselves a lot. It's part of being a human being, and things don't always work out. And it does take an element of, well, not an element, it takes a lot of mental resilience to keep going when we can't see the value. So again, what I said before about the value, you're not going to see it straight away. You're not. You're going to have to do some late nights. You're going to have to make sure that you're putting everything you've got into it, and then you'll start to see the value. You're going to have to put the cost will have to go in first. Does that make sense? But when it's just the cost going in and they're not seeing the value back, I get it. But then I don't get it, because it's like, no, you're not understanding. You got to use the thing to get the thing. Ugh. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah. No one at the academy wants to see anyone leave. We do take it personally, but again, it's a fantastic business opportunity. You have got the blueprint of something that is it's easier to follow than any other business opportunity than you're ever going to get. You're not going to find an easier business opportunity out there than this. It just will not exist, not at the cost. Not when you think packages of £65 plus VAT upwards. It's nothing to get started. All you need to do is be able to put your time and effort in and say yes to those 6 questions, and you should be away. You really should just be away if that's the case. You're not going to get something that's easier to do than this. And I don't want to be mean when I say this, but if you can't make the academy work as a business, you are not going to make anything else work, because you've got so much support, so many tools and resources. There's nothing like it out there. Not just in this industry, in any industry. There's just so few opportunities like this out there that I think, and maybe that's what plays on people's minds a little bit, is that they know that, and they go, oh fucking hell, if I can't make this work, then what can I do? And we don't want to make you feel like that, but you've got to help yourself if you want us to help you. You really do. But the academy is unfortunately, like any business opportunity, it's going to be made for those that do. It can't be for those that don't, because those that don't. And we don't want anyone to be in that situation where they don't. But unfortunately, that's not something we can control. In the absence of those 6 yeses in the first list that I've been through at length for the first 40 minutes, if you're going to struggle with that list, then it probably won't be sustainable. And like I've said, the only thing that you're probably going to find tricky is that growth mindset. But so let's just go into that a little minute. Let's say, for instance, you do worry about not having a growth mindset. How do you get around that? Well, you've got a fucking WhatsApp group with me in it, for one. So I'm willing to have as many calls with you and guide you as much as you want, because really all we've got to do is get you into a holding pattern of doing certain things. You don't necessarily need to grow. You just need to grow to a point where, right, okay, that's the new normal. So you could get around that too. Everybody could get around it by using, again, the fucking tools in the academy, going in your WhatsApp group, Aaron, what do you think of this? Lee, what do you think of that? And using our knowledge in where yours is lacking. That's the whole purpose of the WhatsApp group. Use us at the end of the day. You don't need to suffer, and you certainly don't need to give up on this dream, because it is a dream. Let's face it. It's not wages if you do it right. It's a proper business. It's not an enterprise level business. It's easy to run, when you get it right. You just got to get through them pain barriers and get it right. But I hope that's been useful. I'll give you the framework, the 6 questions. I'll give you the hard yes you should leave if these 3 things are there, and then give you some tips on what to do, on how to turn some of them no's into a yes. And ultimately, if you give up, you give up, and there's no awards for that in life. There's literally no awards for giving up in life or sitting still and not pushing yourself. The happiest men I know are also the most stressed. Do you get what I mean? The easy life does not fulfill a lot of the time. And I get that it's a pull, especially when things have been hard, but it isn't always rewarding, and it certainly won't address question 1, what we said before, where you're trying to get to in life and business. The easy road is never the way. It's always the hard one that's going to take you there. And on that note, I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope it's been useful. And again, as always, we're always here to help you. If you need anything, just let us know. And let's get them 6 yeses, whatever it takes. See you soon. Bye-bye.